Pragmatism is another mentality we want to talk about. It means that the end justifies the means, meaning the goal is more important than the way in which it is achieved. It suggests that, as long as the end result is beneficial, it is acceptable to use whatever methods necessary to achieve that end, even if it means ignoring or even violating ethical and moral standards. In a mindset that only accepts what can be seen and touched, such as those who have a materialistic worldview, fasting, fighting for God's orders, and other spiritual activities would be considered foolish and unnecessary. This corrupt mentality will infect all over the world at end time. It is so dangerous that even infected Noah's wife and his son. So even religious people, and literally everyone, will be in danger of it. Encountering pragmatism is not easy because it infects societies. And fixing a society will take a long time. Noah indeed was trying to fix that society, and to fix them, he needed a long time. That is why God gave him 950 years to live. It is said in Islamic quotations that a mysterious illness spread among women in that community which lowered birth rate among them. Even God was disappointed in newborn people. Same thing will happen at end time, and birth rate will be diminished in one way or another. It is quoted, "At the end time, like how rabbits take their kit and runs away, people will take their children and try to protect them." Meaning that at the end of time, people will be vulnerable to external influences and manipulation, making it difficult to protect children from being affected by those forces. In the lifetime of Noah, people have been born and died, some believing in him and others not. Now, compare this to the situation we are in today, where 1400 years ago, a prophet said that a savior named Mahdi would come to save the world from all corruption and war at the end time. And since then, we born to the world. Some of us believe him, some other don't. It is said the Savior will come after certain things happened. There will be some stages before arrival. First stage is denial, meaning believers will be accused of being liars. People would tell them, "Where's your Savior? Where is the Mahdi you're talking about?" Noah was called liar too. In Quran, he talked to God saying, "Help me, God. They're calling me liars." It implies that in denial stage, we should ask a helper to help us. In a part of prayers, it is mentioned, "Be our helper." Next stage will be threats and military confrontations. In Noah's story, people were threatening him that if he continued his actions, they would hurt him bad. Comparing the current situation with the story of Noah, Muslims face similar threats from their enemies. Israel and the US have threatened Iran with attacks if it continues its actions. Same goes for Palestine or Syria. They want to silence these people. But even at Noah's age, they couldn't stop him. They can't do the same to these countries too, because God had promised to help people who love him like Noah. Next stage is separation, when God will hold back the Savior. Same stage happened when Noah asked God to take him away, or when Imam Ali in Ramadan 19th asked God to be taken away from his people. His request was approved and he was martyred at that night. Even Prophet Moses asked God to take he and his brother away from their perverse people. It's been a long time since humanity is in separation stage because we did not accept and appreciate God's messengers. We mocked and even tried to kill them. So God took his last savior away. In Islamic texts, it is said that same thing happened to Jesus Christ. When people went to kill him, God took him away, and they killed another person thinking he is Jesus himself. And one day, he will return with Mahdi. Next stage is purification and filtration. This stage is very important and comes with a kind of arrival sensation. Humanity will feel and sense the arrival and need of a savior. As an example, imagine when there's going to be raining, clouds will gather together, thunder and lightning appears before the rain. The lack of Mahdi and a savior will be felt by humanity. Injustice and oppression in the world will go too far to the point where it will be intolerable, and people will be distressed and feel remorse for their actions and ask God for a helper and savior. So purification stage and the sensation comes together. But what's purification, and how does God filter good from bad? I'll answer this question with another question. How long did it take for Noah's Ark to get done? According to the narrations, it took 2 to 40 years. Now, why did it take so long for the Ark to be built? Some scholars comment that it might be the last sign for the strayed people to believe, but no, because God have already said that those people won't believe anymore. The long duration was in fact God's purification test for believers, to test their faith, honesty, and purity. God didn't say the exact time of the flood because if he had done it, people would hide their true intention. For our age, filtration has begun, and it's us who getting filtered and being tested by different hardships to show our true intention and believe. People will be screened and sifted at the end time to the point where most of them, even religious ones, will show their true intention and fail. There shall be many tests and trials continuously until some few remain. Keep in mind that this is filtration, not vengeance, and it happens because only pure people who aren't affected by these corrupt mentalities are allowed to be saved. When Mahdi, the Savior, comes, he won't kill or let everyone die alongside corrupted people. Most people in the world are forcefully kept in the dark, and they would find out and accept the truth if someone guide them. Mahdi's enemies are those mentioned mentalities and Zionists who willingly spread oppression and injustice in the world. But why should all these happen in the first place? It's because the goal of creation hasn't reached. The final stage is the stage of trials, disasters, and definite signs of reappearance of the Savior. There were some general signs of the flood in Noah's story, but there were some definite signs too. The definite sign of the flood, according to Quran, was eruption of water from ovens of all houses, where it says, "When our order came and water erupted from oven." It was asked from Imam Ali that, what does it mean by oven? And he interpreted this word as dawn, which was confusing for some people, but I tell you now. What is Imam Mahdi called in Islamic narrations? He's been analogized with the sun. So what Imam Ali said means that the word is referring to the definite sign of reappearance of Mahdi, the Savior. While constructing the ark, Gabriel gave Noah 5 spikes, on which 5 names were inscribed. That inscription is found recently, and it looks like a hand that something's written on it. The inscription was translated and it's written, "O my Lord and my aid, help me out of your mercy and generosity and by these sacred souls, Muhammad, Ilya, Shabar, Shobair, and Fatimeh, those great existences and the most honorable of all people, and the whole world is created for their sake. Help me to the glory of their name, because you're the only one who can save and lead me to the right path." And God promised to preserve the Ark of Noah to be a sign and an example for future generations. Just a few years ago, the remnant of that huge ark was found in the mountain of Ararat in Turkey. Interestingly, horn of some animals that doesn't live at that region was found over there. Prophet Muhammad said, "The path of me and my family is like Noah's Ark. Those who aboard and follow this path will be saved from the storm and end-time craziness. Those who don't aboard will be drowned into deep darkness." Or somewhere else he quotes, "Hussein is the beacon of guidance and the ark of salvation." I'll show you something that is going to be mentioned for the first time in the world. This is the Ark of Noah on map. I drew a line to the direction of Ark's prow to see where it's pointing at. As you can see, it's exactly pointing at toward Kaaba, as though it's bowed toward it. It is said that after the arrival of Imam Mahdi, people will spare their belongings and even money without thinking about its quantity, getting offended, or getting poor. We find it hard to believe, but you can see almost similar thing during the 20 million person procession of 𝙹𝚘𝚘𝚛𝚗𝚎 for Imam Hussein. They offer you so much free food and drinks to the point where you can't accept more offers. It's the only journey you depart without any food supply. Why? Because you depart solely by reliance and confidence on God. Looking back at the word mentioned by Imam Ali, the dawn, we can see some traces and rays of the sun in this ceremony. The more cruel and evil the dark side becomes, the stronger and better the light side act. It is quoted from Imam Ali. At the end time, black flags will raise from Khorasan. And in all historical references, Khorasan equals to Iran. Why do they carry black flags? When and in what occasion? Why is it mentioned in Matthew that one of the signs for the arrival of the Son of Man is that all tribes of earth will hit over their chests and mourn? So many people in the world mourning for Hussein every year. If we stay with Imam Hussein and his path, we will survive and be saved from all madness of what's going on in the world. With Hussein's mentality, we won't accept humiliation. 𝚑𝚘 is the manifestation of the reappearance. Let's learn from story of Noah. Ignorant people might make fun of you, but you shouldn't join them to escape from their mockery, annoyance, and harassment. The Islamic Revolution of Iran was formed in the first place to make preparation for the reappearance and assistant of Imam Mahdi. They were being ridiculed and still being mocked for trying to confront the world powers. They're trying to erase them from the world, but just like how they couldn't erase Noah, neither can these superpowers, because history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes.
کجای این جریانی؟